welcome to another weekend reading vlog. It has been so long since I filmed, like 3 months maybe. For various reasons. I'll get into it later, but yeah, it's Labor Day weekend. So I get Monday off for holiday, and I'm very excited. Hi, Oliver. She's very cuddly. So yeah, my mom was visiting and she went home today. So I plan on doing a lot of reading this weekend. I need to finish The House in the Cerulean Sea for my book club, which I need to finish it in like less than 12 hours, and I'm only 20% of the way through. Lucy! But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. It's very kind of whimsical, and I just found out there's wyverns in it and gnomes, and the writing style is really conversational, kind of, and I really like it. I started listening to the audiobook because I've been doing stuff around the house today, and I really like it. The narrator is really good, and he does a great job of doing different voices for different characters. So I do plan on switching over to the physical book or the ebook and seeing how it ends. But I also, when my mom was here, I got these from my grandmother when she died. They're Harlow paintings of stuff from Charles Dickens. So these are just 5, but I got 11, so I have them all over my bedroom. And it's so nice to wake up and see those. So Dickens is one of my favorite Victorian authors, so it just makes my classic literature loving heart happy. I'm also reading Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. It's the second book in the Stormlight Archive, and I'm reading that for Stormalong 2020. And I have about 200 pages of that to catch up on before Thursday, which I think I can do. I'm also reading Rage of Dragons. I'm really liking it. I'm about halfway through it, and it's really different than what I thought it was going to be, but I really like it, and I really like the world that Evan Winter has built, and I really like Tao as a main character, so I'm interested to see where this is going to go. I also started Fable by Adrienne Young. This is the dust jacket, but how gorgeous is this cover? It's just so pretty, and this is my first Adrienne Young, which is really sad because I own all 3 of her books and I haven't read them yet. But yeah, but so far I'm really liking it. I'm 25 pages in, and the writing is really pretty and captivating without being flowery. And I love the protagonist and the way she's writing her point of view and what's going on in the story. And the dedication just killed me. But yeah, I'm really liking that so far. And I think, and I'm reading or listening to, I was lucky enough to get an audiobook advanced reader copy for To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. This is his adult sci-fi novel, and if you don't know who that is, he is the person who wrote the Inheritance Cycle. So Aragon, Eldest, those books. I'm about 25% of the way through, and I'm really liking it. The audiobook narrator is fantastic, and I was just hooked from the beginning of the book. And even though it's got a little bit of slow points, they don't last for very long, and then it has action or things that further the plot, and everything feels really purposeful. So I'm really liking that. It comes out the 15th. I'm trying to finish it in time to do a review for the release date, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But that's where we're at. So tonight, my goal is to finish The House in the Cerulean Sea, or get through most of it and finish it tomorrow morning so I can do the live show. And yeah, that's about it. So I'm reading everything right now, and I want to read everything right now, so I'm embracing it and just going with the flow. Boy, be a brave boy. Go get your ball. It went in the bathroom, which is the scary room. Search! Go get it! Be brave! You got this! Search! Search! Go get it! Be brave! You got this, man! Go get it! Get that ball! You are so stubborn. You know that? Both your breeds. Stubborn with a capital S. Butch. Butch. Oh my God, you're so dramatic. Hi. It's Saturday. Around 2:30. I just finished The House of the Cerulean in the Cerulean Sea, and I don't know if you can tell, but I've been like sobbing. It was such a wonderful book. There are so many beautiful, quotable lines in this book, and it follows the story of Linus Baker, who lives a very mundane, lonely life, and he is a caseworker. So he basically is like a social worker for magical children. And he goes to this isolated island. He's sent there for a month to judge whether or not it should stay open. It's like it's labeled as an orphanage. And in that month, he gets to know the inhabitants of the house and the kids and all that while he's writing his reports and sending them off weekly to his bosses. And the last, like, 50 pages, maybe, I was just sobbing. But it did bring up some really good points that I think are really relevant now. Things like change starts with just a few people, and you can't judge people based on your first impression. You need to get to know them in order to really know what they're about and what they're like. And someone might look like a monster and they're really not. And it was just so freaking good. Like, I'm obviously giving it 5 stars. And they talked about in this book how the people who are shunning these children on this island, these people are in a bubble. And then once you get to know them, that bubble pops and you shouldn't go back because now you finally see everything. I just loved it so much. Like, it's definitely a book that's going to stick with me, and it's a book I think that everyone should read. It has really good messages, and it's told in such a heartwarming way. The author, TJ Klune, just did it so effortlessly. Like, I didn't feel like anything was forced. I felt like everything was purposeful, and his intent was to get you to love these characters and who are viewed as monsters by society, and they're not. And all these characters have their own distinct personalities, and through this whole book I was literally laughing out loud, and at the end I was sobbing, and I haven't read a book like that in quite a while. And somebody said something on the chat, I can't remember if it was Angela or Carrie, but they said it's like a hug in book form, and I totally agree with that. And there's also a little wyvern in here named Theodore, and I just want him. He was just the cutest thing. He was one of my favorites, and I'm gonna do a book review on this book because it's just that amazing. So I feel like I'm entering a book hangover, so I don't know what I'm gonna do for the rest of the day. Hopefully read more, but I just wanted to pop on here and give you my fresh, raw thoughts while I'm still in all my feels. So, that's all I've read today. We'll see if I read more, but I'll check in with you guys later. Bye. I love how I can't even really read right now because she's sitting on my chest. But she's so sweet. Such a cuddle bug. Such a cuddle bug. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear her purring, but it's really sweet. So this is Oliver. I don't know if I've officially introduced her in other vlogs. This is she's my mom's cat. But she's staying with me for a little bit. But yeah, she's the oldest of our cats. And I found her under a pallet when I was working in a grocery store. I found her outside, and she was an itty bitty little kitten, and I had her in a grocery box till I could take her home at the end of my shift. And we thought she was a boy, so I named her Oliver, like Oliver Twist. And then she got pregnant. So, but she is one of the sweetest cats in the whole world, and she's so cuddly and opinionated. Yeah. Hi. It is Monday afternoon. As you can see, Lucy's just chilling on my back. We got Oliver looking down on us from the top of the couch. Hi. You want to say hi to your fans? No. There must be birds outside. Anyway, so last night I finished Witch Hunt by Kate Conte or Conte. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's Conte. And it was a cozy mystery arc that I got in a new series, and I really liked it. At first I wasn't sure because it seemed to focus more on the character and her found family, so to speak, versus the actual mystery. But I didn't mind that. Everything kind of ended up intersecting in a really satisfying way. So I gave that 4 out of 5 stars. It's been a really nice, chill Labor Day morning or day. I woke up around 9, made some breakfast, hung out with my fur children a little bit. Yeah, so it's about, oh my god, 1:30 right now. And I'm going to keep reading Rage of Dragons. I keep wanting to start everything. Like, I have a stack over here of like 4 new releases that I really want to get to, like Queen of Vaults and Cemetery Boys and Blood and Honey and Fable, which I'm 25 pages into that one. And I just want to read everything, but then I also have all these huge fantasy books that I want to get through. And I still need to read about, I think, 250, 300 pages of Words of Radiance for the Stormalong 2020 live show that's happening on Thursday, which I can do that. Sanderson's writing is so easy. I've just been kind of spacing it out so I don't get burnt out on it. But yeah, that's all we've been doing. Butch has been on neighborhood watch all day. There's been a lot of landscaping maintenance going on outside, so he's been watching, making sure the perimeter's secure and everyone's cool. So he's very protective. It's adorable. Ooh, this is like balanced on top of my Tombow pens, and if this thing goes down, I'm gonna get water everywhere. But it's like close to 5. No, it's close to 6. And I feel like I haven't been very productive today, but that's okay. I read a little bit more of Fable by Adrian Young. I've got my hand up here in case it like topples over. But how pretty is this cover? I'm really liking it so far. I think I said in an earlier check-in that I own all 3 of her books, but I haven't read them yet. So this is my first one. And I really like her writing style. I read about 30 more pages before I made dinner. And I like how she writes things in a way that I can envision it in my head, and it's beautiful, but her actual writing is not overly flowery or purple prose, if that makes sense. And so far it's set in a seaside town, which I love. I'm a sucker for that, always. And I like our main character. She's doing whatever she can to survive, and I think she's on a journey to find her dad, who just abandoned her on this island when she was, after her mother died, like 5 or 6 years prior to when this story opens. So that's all I'm going to say about that. She did just escape this guy who was after her, and that's another thing I really like about Adrian Young's writing, is that the escape scene was not overly done, and it kept me on the edge of my seat. Oliver's laying on the floor. It kept me on the edge of my seat without being over dramatic. Like, it was very realistic, and I really, really liked it. So I'm looking forward to reading more of this. Okay, so I'm in bed. It's about 10:30, and I'm about 140 pages into Fable, and something huge just happened. Oh my god. I'm really liking this, and I'm really liking the story, and I'm not really seeing or predicting the little plot twists that are going on, and I didn't think I'd like it this much, and I am. So that makes me really happy. But I don't know how much longer I'll read. I try to go to bed by 12, but my sleep schedule has been basically non-existent since I started working from home. I'm going to try to get to page at least 200 tonight, because I'm on 140, but it's so good. I also listened to a little bit more of To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. And I'm still really liking it, even though right now I'm starting to get into a dip in action. Like, all the conversations that are happening and that kind of stuff is definitely furthering the plot. But there's not a lot of action right now. It's a lot of talking. So it's not holding my attention as much. But from what I've heard, it kind of has its peaks and valleys. So hopefully we'll reach a peak soon. I'm about 36% of the way through it. So yeah, still really liking that. So overall, this has been a really good weekend for reading. I read some of Words of Radiance. I read some Assassin's Apprentice. I finished Witch Hunt. Listened to more of To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. Read some of Fable. Read some Nancy Drew. And I started a cozy mystery, Drawn and Buttered by Sherry Randall, a lobster shack mystery. So, with all this fantasy, it's nice to have a cozy mystery to kind of break things up. But I think I'm going to end my vlog here. That's it. Overall, it's been a really good weekend. It's been a very chill weekend. And I'm so glad we got an extra day this weekend. And I'm not ready to go back to the real world yet. But it's okay. But I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. And I hope you're staying safe and wearing a mask. Wear a mask. And as always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button down below. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.